I'd like to also, just personally, attack this notion that people who don't want to work. Let me be an economist and explain why this is not what you might think. In the aftermath of the crash of 2008, we saw in the United States a tremendous drop in what we call the labor force participation rate. It was particularly middle-aged white males, more than anybody else, who didn't, quote-unquote, want to work. By the way, these are the people who put Mr. Trump in office.
Right.
They were angry. They found the good jobs with good pay and good pensions and good benefits taken away from them.
Right.
And they were told, hey, go get a job, be a greeter at Walmart, go flip hamburgers, go.
Right.
And they said, wait a minute, we've given 20, 30 years of our lives. We've worked very hard. We've accumulated skills. Everyone has said we did good work. You're just throwing us on the, we're not going to do it. We're going to go home and take care of an elderly person. We're going to go home and help out with the children. We're going to go home and build another wing on the house that we need.
Right.
Don't tell us we're unwilling to work. You've deprived us of the conditions. If Franklin Roosevelt were here, he'd say, we're devoted as a nation to giving people a good job and a good income. And if we can't do that, we can't turn on them and say, you're unwilling to work.
Right. I do think that one of the problems here is that we have to reframe the debate and look at the fact that people did come up with social utility. They did care for grandchildren. They got involved in the lives of their children by helping them with taking care of their grandchildren. And so to come back in the labor force means disrupting the real political economy that is of consequence to them. Right. Similarly, we've had, because of the traumatic nature of what we've been through with this with capitalism, we're in a situation where we have this growing ranks of disabled with all kinds of issues related to the random and capricious nature of capitalism that has inflicted psychic trauma on millions of people, where they had a job one day in social standing and then were stripped of all of that. So I do think that we do need to reframe this discussion and really look at the fact that the Green New Deal is about a broad-based, bottom-up prosperity that heals the planet.
That's right. And let's have a Green New Deal so that we change the conditions for those who might say today, I'm unwilling to work, or be accused by someone who's kind of cruel in their mentality. Give them the conditions, and we'll see that they're going to be willing to work. By the way, the so-called unwilling are coming back into the labor force the last 2 or 3 years, but not because the jobs are better, but because we've kept them out of work so long that they've used up their savings. They've used up the resources of their families. They're coming back. And to say to them that they ought to, that we have no obligation, that this is a system that has no obligation to a person who's given his or her life of work, but to say, okay, we're going to pay you now next to nothing and put you in poverty. That's the fastest growing part of our labor force. That's a failure of the system. And it ought to be the system that's up there to be criticized, not those people who react to its failures by saying there's better things I can do with my time than work at an unskilled job for $15 an hour, given what I've done all my life.